battle cruiser. The AA reduced from 6 to 5. What? They reduced the anti-air damage from 6 to 5. They removed the random delay between shots, so I think that means it shoots faster, but still, BC's, I mean, they're pretty junk versus corruptors, so, like, I find myself looking at these changes and I'm like, huh, that's still in there. But anyway, here we are, spawning down in the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing for Team Revolution. It is KeeN, and his opponent spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. It is Jin Air Greenwing's Creator. And I mean, Creator last week, he just looked like an absolute monster. And this is their confirmation we're on the balance test mod, by the way. That little bar on the Nexus.
Hey, look, the Nexus has energy, you guys.
The Chrono bar, okay? I mean, there was a time in which Nexuses, they didn't have energy, though, so...
That's a good point.
If you're completely new coming back from, say, before... Like, when did they bring back the energy? That was, like, 2016 they did that?
It's been on and off for a long time. I don't know. I don't know about dates on this.
I think it was at the start of Legacy of the Void they removed it, and then they brought it back after Protoss were like, we missed being able to chrono boost 8 gateways and send lots of gateway units, but in seriousness, no. The current chrono is in a pretty good spot, I feel.
Yeah, I haven't heard any complaints about it, either from Protoss or from other players. I mean, it is good for getting that probe count up early, but it's not like it gives Protoss an insurmountable advantage in the mid-game at all.
Yeah, it definitely does help, because, I mean, it was kind of boring. You just always use your chrono on something, whereas now it's a lot more tactical using your chrono boost. It's like, okay, do I really want to chrono boost out probes or save energy? And also with the whole recall element needing the energy on the Nexus in order to do the recall, I think it's a lot more of an interesting dynamic.
Indeed. Does Afreeca have a VOD system like Twitch does, where you can watch stuff later?
Yes, it does. So you can just, basically if you click on my channel and then, or even on, yeah, just the play.afreeca TV/LaughNgamez URL, then you scroll down, all the latest VODs will be there. But they also do get uploaded to my YouTube on youtube.com/LaughNgamez, which is in the announcement link.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, because one of my followers who's here cheering us on was asking about that. So yeah, so Elk, it's going to be on LaughNgamez YouTube channel, in case you didn't hear that. Okay. All right, so the Reaper is coming in, checks to make sure there's a Nexus here, and KD8 charge is gonna. Oh, that little wounded probe there is quite a target, but
yeah,
the Adept is quite a deterrent as well.
It's Acid Plant, so it's not the best map for Reapers to get too much done. Oh, look at that! He sort of actually dukes the other Adept, but the second one's coming out saying, "Get on out of here."
That's right. You are not allowed. And a quick pause out of KeeN.
I do not read Korean, so we'll just have to figure out what's going on.
I do not either.
So we'll just throw to a quick break while we get that figured out.
Okay, we'll be here.
Okay, apparently we're going.
We made it! We're alive!
Anyone who reads Korean and speaks English want to fill us in on what that was, but... I mean, this one, you never know. But as long as they're playing, I think everything is fine. I mean, from the context, I maybe want to guess whether KeeN was unsure whether it was on the balanced test mod or not. But who knows? Now, KeeN is coming out with these Hellions, with the Reaper. Now, Reapers do beat a single Adept, so that Adept has to get on out of there. Well, Reapers and Hellions beat a single Adept.
Yeah, definitely do. Oracle pumping on out. We are continuing to produce Widowmines right now.
This is interesting. Yeah, he's going double Widowmine, but he doesn't have a starport on the way.
So just going to be defensive Widowmines then. You can't really move these across the map in any sense, but the one here inside the natural just begging the Oracle to wander in here and start killing. Look at these juicy, unprotected SCVs.
Creator, he's paying attention. Oh, God.
Look at this.
He gets the SCV. Oh, God. Stop doing this to us.
The micro. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Oh, my God. It was a lot harder before there was that line that helped you outdo that, but even KeeN just pulling the SCVs off. It's like, okay, the Oracle's going to be out. He's just, it's like, yeah, you guys get off that mineral line. Oh, he's got to be out of energy soon, right? And there we go. He's out of energy.
So there's a lot of SCVs there with like 1 HP.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal.
There's so many mines out for KeeN. I guess he just really wants to shut down the Stargate.
Free hit!
Boom!
That'll do.
And that's why you make 4
unburrows
Widow
it.
Mines at the start. Oh, I forgot there's going to be the Drilling Claws upgrade, which is always going to be exciting.
Which permacloaks it. That's
yeah,
right.
It does. It brings it back to the, like, after not having that upgrade, I mean, Protoss and Zergs are going to be in for it, man. Just having to worry about, it's like, oh no, I don't have an observer. These mines are going to recharge. It's going to be it's a sort of dynamic that players didn't have to worry about for a while, but Terran's, I imagine that upgrade, it's got to be worth it for him to squeeze it out.
I absolutely think so. Permacloaked Widow Mines just are such an amazing thing to see here. Oh, there's Revelation. Oh, gets the hit
Tries to
anyway.
bait out the mine, yeah, but it's very tricky to do that adept trick. But Hellions for KeeN actually getting on into the natural. Killing off a few probes here and there. And ooh, probes chasing Hellions is never a good sight. But does manage to clean it up. But Creator losing about 7 workers there. Unfortunately, since we are in the balanced test mod, we don't actually have Game Heart along with that. But ooh, KeeN stepping on out here, picking off those Stalkers.
Yeah, the Stalkers trying to get out. They don't have Blink, so they can't run away very well. The Marines do chase a bunch of them. They have been revealed. And moving into the main base of KeeN.
There's still lots of Widow Mines hanging around, though. Did another Oracle die? Yeah, another Oracle died in that. I'm not sure what killed it, but KeeN, I mean, shutting down those Oracles is so nice for him. And I'm a bit worried for Creator because he moved out on the map. No, he doesn't have Cloak or anything. I mean, he doesn't have Glaives or Blink or anything else done. So he's just going to have to rely on the shield battery versus stimmed Marines, which is always dicey. And he's worried about it potentially being in his main base. So he's scared right now. But KeeN's just, where's he going to come on in is the question.
That is always an excellent question. Looks like it's hitting directly for the main here. There are Stalkers ready to go. There are some sentries there waiting as well, so no reason to unload in that location. Definitely not. Going to unload outside of the natural base. Start heading up on that way. Third base coming down for KeeN. Oracle sneaking in, or sneaking back home, and the attack up front here. Nice force fields, good Stalker control.
Yeah.
And KeeN does not like what he sees here.
Oh, what?
Oh, hot!
Creator, did he? Oh, wow. I did not catch that drop. KeeN came in with another drop, apparently.
The third base was going down. It was 86 to 70 supply.
Didn't catch that, guys. I apologize. There's my one observing fail. But yes. Looks like, asking in chat, is this live? Yes, it is indeed. It's our nice evening StarCraft 2. Second map's going to be Blue Shift. But KeeN taking the first one. I mean, Creator, he was looking really good in the last Afreeca World event. He beat some players that he wasn't expected to beat. But, yeah,
it does seem like he is a bit up and coming here for sure. That is one thing to watch about these guys that maybe aren't necessarily part of the upper echelon, the upper elite now, but watching them grow, watching them learn. Yeah, watching them just become that upper elite is a really fun thing to do.
Yeah, when he came out, he was looking real good too, like that other week. But carrying your dominance over to another patch is going to be a tough thing to do. So
very true.
Yeah, but I mean, just that opening was a bit odd. I mean, it was like a pretty standard Oracle opening. Just the move out for Creator was a bit odd. Like, he lost like a fair few adepts when he pushed into KeeN without anything. I guess he was just trying to do that light Protoss aggression, but KeeN was doing a 2-base bio play before he got his third. He had invested in all of his bio, and so that's why he had Stim ready.
Indeed, and that is such a huge upgrade. If you somehow forget about Stim as a Terran player against Protoss, you might as well just go home at that point, because it just adds so much utility to your army. And yep, if you don't forget it, good things can happen.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, that was a awesome first game between the two of them. I mean, KeeN just getting the better end of that drop. I mean, I didn't even catch that drop, and it's just like, oh, Creator taps out, but no, that was a very lethal drop from KeeN. And here we are, this guy, once again, spawning in the top right-hand side of the map. It's Revolution's KeeN.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, or yeah, that's where we are. It's going to be the red Protoss player. It's gonna be Creator.
Okay, now moving out with a very early scout. and just making sure that there's no barracks out on the map. Whereas KeeN, he's just going for the later gas. Actually, just barracks before his gas, it looks like, which is a pretty passive thing to do for Terrans these days. A lot of Terrans do go for the gas first before the barracks. It's just a slight thing, but it doesn't make too much of a difference.
Nah, definitely not. Just kind of a preferential thing at this point. Probe moving in to do this traditional harassment on the SCV. Immediate second SCV pulls off the line to help with this so that the barracks can continue finishing here. It is something Terrans complain about, is how come SCVs are the only things that are vulnerable while building something?
SCVs should be able to repair themselves.
Ooh.
You think about that? If they just sit there and they can repair themselves? We're thinking of new changes. That's like a big brain change right there. You remember when the Thors could revive themselves?
Yes.
That was when Blizzard was really desperate to make the Thor do something, since they were not used that often at all. And now they're changing them back.
Almost got the juke there. That said, mineral walking would allow the probe to get out. Yeah, it was like Battlefield Resurrection, or I don't know, something along those lines. The harassment here. Finally, the expansion does go down for the Terran player.
How much did it cost you to revive the Thor, though?
I want to say... God, I don't even remember. I want to say it was at least half of the original cost of a Thor.
I mean, it was such a cool idea, but it was just honestly so odd.
Well, and it was, because if your Thors are dying and you lose the battle, then as they're trying to res, they just die where they stand.
Exactly. So it wasn't very useful. Then the later armor change they gave the Thor was the most important buff. And I'm going to air my dirty laundry. Blizzard, what are you doing with the Thor buff? With the Thor nerf, pardon me. What are you doing? Removing that Thor armor? Tisk tisk tisk.
It is weird. It's not like Thors are crazy OP right now. I've never watched a game and said, dang, that Thor, unstoppable, man.
Yeah, it made him a lot stronger. And it made the Thor feel a lot more like a tier 3 unit, in my opinion, whereas before it's just like, oh, a few stalkers just killed it. And it wasn't like a massive buff or anything, but it did help out. Now, KeeN, talking about the actual game, coming on in with his Reaper. I doubt we'll see any Thors this game. But Reaper just hanging on out. Adept does find it, though, and ooh, KeeN has to get on out of there.
Some battle cruiser play I think still would be fun. I think maybe part of the problem here is that there is cash on the line. And when that happens, experimentation kind of tends to go out the window.
Well, Tasia versus True. Maybe.
All right, maybe.
Because I know Tasia's got some pretty important tournaments coming up, so maybe he's got to be practicing a lot on the current patch. And so,
okay. And so maybe he's willing to just kind of show what's going on.
Maybe he's found a secret.
Maybe hide some
DC
of
build.
like hide some of his true build orders from his future opponents.
Because they looked really good in the show match that I cast. So, I mean, we'll see.
Probe does go down here to the Reaper. Another probe getting focused down a little bit. He wants it. Does get it.
Does the Reaper get out? No. Oh,
KeeN,
he had his way out too. And that would have been very frustrating. Oh, and look at this. All right. New Cyclone. Did they change the size of it? It looks like it's a little bit smaller.
I don't think they did. It does look a little more compact, though, now that you mention it.
Hold on. Let's. I'm control F'ing the changes. Looks like, no, it's still the same.
For size?
They haven't included all of the changes to do with the Cyclone. This is supposed to be a summary, but it doesn't mention anything about changing the whole thing to do with the Cyclone. But oh, look at this! Gets a sentry. Ooh.
Yeah, the lock on ability for ground is here. That was nice.
Yeah. It's a KeeN.
That was a nice pickup.
Making this work, and he's making a tank now, so just the one Cyclone, I guess, in order to have that map control. The Cyclones will be good at shutting down warp prisms and things and early pressure. When I see it a bit more, I'll consider liking the new Cyclone, in my opinion, but when it was first announced, I was like, we like our current Cyclone. It's very good for defending and stuff like that, but who knows how this one's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of hours played by people at the pro level, at the lower level too, before we decide exactly how good it is and whether it's much different from what it was before. Where the heck? Where did you go, Immortal? Why were you alone?
Yeah, I don't know either. It's dangerous being out on the map now if you're a Protoss unit when there is a Cyclone lurking about.
I do love the observer placement here by
Yeah.
Creator. It is seeing everything that's coming down that ramp. He knows exactly what KeeN is working on.
Creator has seen everything. So that's just got to be a good feeling. He is seeing that as 2-base bio, so he's making a lot of Immortals and Sentries to counteract that. Immortals pretty decent versus smaller numbers of bio. It's when it's the higher numbers which they become less and less effective. But
It's just that extra damage versus armor. It really crushes
Yeah.
Marauders.
They do, and even versus Marines, like, they're very tanked. They're very tanky. Looks like Zig... we'll just say Zig in chat. I apologize for not being able to say your full name. I'm completely fine with the Thor anti-armor nerf because one Thor and a Medivac pretty much does shut down Infinity Mutas. But it's the armor nerf that, like, I'd be fine with the anti-air nerf or change, but the armor nerf, leave it as it is. Now KeeN's moving out, and I mean, this is actually so risky. He was planning a tank push, but oh my god, a Medivac gets picked off.
This push is so strong from Creator.
He does have
Here
the two tanks. Thank God that Medivac wasn't the one with the 2 tanks in it that got picked off, but the 2 Immortals are coming in the Prism. They're going to just start working away on these units. The Bio's going to focus down the Immortals, and the Stalkers either have to get on in or get on out because of those 2 tanks. So KeeN is holding on for now. It's the 2-base versus 2-base.
Yeah, I do love the Guardian Shield coming up. Observer sees exactly what we're dealing with. He really wants to get rid of those tanks if he can. Plus, just harassing, trying to hit that barracks from the low ground is kind of hilarious.
Observer dies, which is very important. And that's both the Observers done, so Creator not aware of the army positioning anymore of his opponent.
All right, Creator. He's just putting on a bit of a contain here. He's also not expanding himself. He's getting a robotics facility. A robotics bay, rather, and a forge. So we might see some disruptor shots heading on in there. Might see some Colossus too.
New Disruptor.
Just something to break this. Yeah, new Disruptor. Oh, that's true. Disruptor has been changed as well.
It's now like how it was before they changed it and then reverted it, and then before they changed it, and you know how it goes with the Disruptor. But no,
one of those iterations.
Yeah, it's the iteration in which basically you can target it and then it eventually expires. Like, it's sort of like a bomb that has a clock on it, and then it eventually detonates. Which I want to say that I liked the current Disruptor more because it had a lot, like, we saw the Terrans doing like the cool splitting off micro, and then we saw Protoss players blinking Stalkers into the Disruption Novas as they were shot, and I thought that was something really cool. Whereas the current one, there isn't really much counterplay besides splitting, which isn't the best design in my opinion, but I mean, that's just one pleb, so...
yeah, I agree. If the only way to stop a Disruptor is just splitting exceptionally well against it, and there's really nothing else you can do, that's kind of boring game mechanic for sure.
Oh, look
Either
at
way,
this drop
dropping
for KeeN.
3 Marines here.
The rest going into the main base. Gotta
And
just casually unloading too. They were in no rush to get out, but now they're in. They're gonna start focusing down some probes, and oh, and here comes on in KeeN. Here comes KeeN. But yeah, wow! Oh my God, KeeN just once again with another fast move. Lots of force fields going down, but it's just Stalkers versus Stimmed Bio. The 2 tanks in the back worth so much. There's also all these Widowmines preventing Creator from stepping forward. Oh,
yeah,
man,
that is a goodly number of Widowmines for sure.
That's 5 Widowmines. That one Stalker steps forward to try and bait this out, but that ain't happening. I guess Creator just has to wait. Oh my God, there's even more Widowmines coming.
Wow, Widowmines all over these tanks in case there are some Adepts trying to shade in. I don't think there are that many Adepts you have to worry about, or if the Stalkers try to blink on top as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess
but
it's
yeah,
just
that
for the
third
Zealous.
base
The
is
Colossus
toast.
will have extended thermal lance in a second here, but yeah, that base is going to be dying. And now here comes in that one Colossus going to help it. Stalkers blink forward into the Widowmines, but it's just a massacre. Creator with the WW taps out KeeN, looking to just knock Creator down.
Yeah, fairly quick 2-0 there from KeeN. Fantastic play by him. In a matchup that a lot of people consider to be Protoss favored currently in the current patch of StarCraft 2. So maybe with some of these changes, we are seeing... Well, I don't know. I don't know that it looks like KeeN's relying on any of the new balance changes necessarily. He hit a couple Cyclones in there, but the Widowmines are the same. The tanks were the same. Marines and Marauders were the same.
Pretty standard blue shift map. And I mean, the whole idea of the balance patch isn't to change absolutely everything, because I, for one, am against change for the sake of change in the game, which is why I'm against some of the changes that have been put forward. But, I mean, some of them are sort of like important changes that can improve the design of units. Now, all right. So we're gonna load on into the next game.
All right.
Well, into the next lobby, and then into the next game. Can't have a game without a lobby. Getting everyone ready. But this has been a quick 2-0 for KeeN so far.
Definitely true. He's defended. He's been aggressive exceptionally well, too. He hasn't lost too much stuff to harassment and just had some really great timings. And that previous attack in game number 1, just a nice split off into the third base while having enough to threaten the front door of the natural 2. And Creator just did not have an idea of how to handle that.
Yeah, exactly. And now this guy spawning up the top right-hand side of the map with a nice 2-0 lead. I mean, we were wondering how he'd stand up versus Creator, but apparently just being aggressive and going for decisive moves. It's KeeN. I mean, looking pretty good so far.
And then spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner, far, far away, is going to be our Protoss player who really needs to win here to not just go home immediately. It's going to be Creator.
Yeah, so we'll see how this one works out. I mean, Creator was trying to attack up there, but Blue Shift, like when your opponent pushes across the map, they just get there so quick. And it really was that one drop that really pulled Creator out of position. Those few Marines, they really pulled his army out of position, and then KeeN just sort of, you know, jumped right on in.
Yep.
Falcon, are there any changes in the balance test mod that really jump out for you or anything like that?
Any major changes here? Let me look over the whole list again here. So as far as, yeah, I mean, one thing that's interesting is the medevacs. Basically allowing for longer boost time is what it is. Fewer seconds of downtime there, which is kind of a big deal. It seems like the amount of boost that we have available is enough.
That's just with the upgrade, though, I think, right?
Yes, it is. So maybe we'll see some of that in the later game.
I have an opinion on the upgrade.
Okay.
Terrans are still never going to make it.
All right.
It could make medivacs fly as fast as they want and teleport, but Terrans are never going to put a tech lab on a starport in order to research that just at a time in which it's going to be super significant into the game. So I think, in my opinion, what they should do with that change is they should throw it in the armory. If you've played StarCraft 2 co-op and you've played with Raynor, you'll see that there's an upgrade for the medivacs, which is in the armory. And I think they should go the same with multiplayer, because it's just not feasible for a Terran to either throw up another starport for the sole purpose of getting that upgrade, or to throw up like, or to just get a tech lab and cut medivac production. So I think if they put it on the armory, which isn't really used for bio-Terrans, it would be a cool place to sort of like fill that gap. It could be very expensive too, in my opinion, and it would have to be. So say like 200 would be a fair price for something like that, but it would be seen a lot more than it will be on a tech lab.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. So looking over the list here, I do like the fact that fungal growth no longer allows affected units to blink, tactical jump, or load into transports or buildings. So that's kind of nice, wherein you would fungal a group of blink stalkers and they just blink away and like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, making fungal a little bit more viable does seem like a positive change.
When the infestors had their change, they really did follow to the meta a fair bit when units were able to move. Oh, we're not on the balance test mod. That cycle is shooting normally.
Yep.
Okay, guys. I thought before the start of this cast today that all right, gotta make sure that we're always on this, because this happened when I was doing the show match, because it's just automatic to type WCS Game Heart.
Yes, it is.
So unfortunately that happened. Thankfully we noticed earlier on in the game.
Yeah, it wasn't something where we got 20 minutes into it and said, hey, wait.
Because it was like, when I did it, when I was casting another show match, we got like 10 minutes into the game and battle cruisers were made, and then it's like these battle cruisers are not shooting while moving. It's like, oh no, I'm so sorry. But okay, yeah, unfortunately Nope, that is not the right mod. It's unfortunate. There we are. There we are.
Okay, we made it.
Now this is
And yeah,
blue shift. We just played on blue shift. Oh my god.
Did.
We're all over the place here. Do apologize about that, guys.
We'll make it.
Okay. Lost and found on the balance test mod. There we are.
Excellent.
Getting everyone on into the lobby, and then we'll quickly get back into that game. Okay, both players are ready. So we'll get back on into it. And I do apologize to everyone about that. But we do want to play all the games on the balanced test mod, as it wouldn't really be a very fair series with without doing that.
Agreed. The other thing I did want to mention is anabolic synthesis for Ultralisks, where it gives them additional speed.
Oh, yeah. Is that an upgrade that they added?
Yeah, it's an upgrade that they added. There'll be a visual difference that we'll notice that you'll be able to see. And so I just think that's going to be great. I think one of the upgrades that people always get for Ultras in Brood War is speed. And any time that you have speed available for a melee unit, especially, it's going to be so good being able to close the distance before you take too many shots to the face, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's only on creep, though, right?
Let me take a look. I actually have it right here. Yes. Nope.
It's
off creep. So it gives you a bonus speed off creep. On creep will actually stay the same. So off creep, it goes from 413 to 455, and then on creep, it will stay at 536.
all right. I guess we should at least introduce the players into this game, and then we can yammer on about the balance changes. Spawning down in the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's Revolution's KeeN.
And in the top right-hand corner, the blue Protoss player, it is Creator.
So, talking about the Ultras, they have an interesting place because I don't think anyone can argue that Ultras were too strong at the start of Legacy of the Void with their whole 8 armor and being pretty darn good. I honestly think if there was to be a change to Ultras, that I think a good one would be to make them seen more in ZVP. Because they're not seen too often in ZVP.
That's because Immortals destroy them.
Exactly.
Not even close. Yeah.
So I don't know what they could do about that.
I mean, it's almost like you'd have to have a special upgrade that makes them less susceptible to immortal fire, which is never going to be a thing. But I don't know how else you do it. You know, because if you knock down immortal damage, that affects the other matchups pretty heavily.
Yeah, I think what you'd have to do is that you'd have to buff the health of the Ultra, but then reduce the armor. So because the Immortal's anti-armor, maybe. I don't know. That's just a thought.
Yeah.
It's always so tough to say, but
yeah, I mean, you'd have to increase the health pool a lot because seriously, 5 Immortals will chew through an Ultra in about 2.5 seconds.
I think everyone's seen that. It's just one Immortal walks into the home of all the Ultras, and it's just, well, that's it. This is how we die.
This is how we die. All right, so nothing crazy happening in the early stages here. It's the Stargate opening out of the Protoss player. We have some Reaper stuff happening as well. Reaper hopping up inside the main base. Scouting does scout the Stargate. Well played by him.
Oh,
and will he make it?
Like his fate is sealed.
No!
Rest in peace.
Rest in pieces.
As usual, we've got a lot of Korean viewers in chat.
We sure do. I'm not sure what Toth is thanking us for, but maybe that he noticed we weren't on the balance patch? I don't know. Hey, check out this upgrade.
Oh, look at this. KeeN. I mean, he's got a 2-0 lead, so maybe he is looking to go for something a bit cheeky, but getting up a third CC and gonna have Cyclones for safety. Oh, but I mean, this Cyclone, it locks onto the Adept, and that Adept is done. It's donezo.
Yep, and Kabbalah. And then just regular
oh man,
attack.
It does so much damage. Oh, if he stayed locked on, he could have gotten that other Adept, I think, but he comes back into the main base now.
Getting healed up there by an SCV.
Adepts didn't see that there was the upgrade researching as well, which is important.
What the heck is that upgrade?
It's a magnetic, makes them better versus the air, I believe.
Cyclone.
Tornado.
Mag Field Accelerator. That's what it is.
Yes.
It'll do 400 plus 400 versus armored over 14 seconds to ground and flying targets.
Okay, so it's just
So
better
lock-on
overall.
Yeah, it's better against everything. Awesome. 400 plus 400 is insane.
That kills an Ultra, doesn't it?
800 HP or 800 damage. I think so. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's interesting. I mean,
assuming the Ultralisk armor. No, the Ultra armor comes into play. So I don't know how the math works out. I don't think it can one-shot an Ultralisk, though. All right. Well, that Adept is totally, completely dead there. Extra dead at this point in time. And yeah, you can see the additional... That's what those lasers are, I think, is what that mag field accelerator upgrade is.
It used to be just for anti-air, making them fire a lot faster. But, oh, man, KeeN definitely a little too far out. This Cyclone, he's too far away from home now. He can try and lock onto those Oracles, but Cyclones also with their reduced health now gonna get picked off, and those Marines as well. So KeeN a little bit ambitious there. Now these this other Cyclone and his 2 Marine buddies, they're not gonna be looking so good. This poor Cyclone doesn't stand a chance.
And the Marines, nope, not gonna go home either. Sorry, buddy. Nice knowing ya. Blink being researched now by Creator. Got Stim on the way, so Stim was delayed a little bit for KeeN to go for that little cute Cyclone play, which we do appreciate.
Yeah, he does have up his 3rd base already, though. So that's definitely going well for him. Whereas Creator, I mean, these guys are pretty equal economically at this point, and with KeeN getting a Stim on the way, Creator just now getting up a Robo. Any AoE for Creator is going to be a fair ways off, and that's really he hasn't had anything to dissuade KeeN from just committing on top of him, and as a result, he's died. So maybe he needs to get up some AoE a little bit sooner or something like that.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, honestly, against Terran who's going by, you want that splash damage pretty much above anything else, unless you can kill them in the first, 12 minutes or so. But at this stage, an Adept comes in, going to go ahead and try to take out a Marine or 2, but then there's that lock on, and the Adept starts running even before she gets locked on there, because she knows she is toast. Nope. Triple Oracle, maybe trying to get something done. There are missile turrets in most locations, though. Actually, there's a natural base have one.
The other day, yes, there is one.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other day, as in earlier today, but yes.
Yeah. It all blurs together.
It does. All the StarCraft is just basically everything's another day. Yep, Oracle's swinging around here. Immortal production here. Templar Archives on the way here from Creator. And just Marines, Marauders, Stim, +1. All the standard stuff you want to see from a Terran player, including tank production. Adding on 2 additional barracks is going to be a 3-basing Terran, which is a pretty scary thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to go in there if you're Creator.
No, you can test the waters with the Stalkers and just pick off a unit here and there, but at this point, when it's a 3-base Terran, picking off a Marine or 2 isn't the biggest deal, so it's really just a lot of risk for not that much reward, but if you're good enough, you can always try and go for it, but for now, he's just tagging the army, keeping eyes on it with his Oracles, and he's getting up to Psystorm, which is very important, because I was worried how there wasn't any AoE for a long time, but he's also getting units in his main base or shield battery and cannon in his main base to defend, so just the fact that he's kept KeeN back at his base and that KeeN hasn't pushed out, it's already a lot better for Creator, because he's going to have that AoE by the time KeeN reaches his side of the map.
He is scouting in with a hallucinated Phoenix right into the main base, and sees exactly what KeeN is working on there. Nicely done by him, and actually it makes it almost all the way out too, so nice hallucinated Phoenix. Yeah, well played. Another base in the bottom right-hand corner being taken, a 4th base for Creator here, just expanding down that bottom right-hand side. He's got units everywhere. Up along the left side, he's got Zealots, he's got Pylons, he's got stuff running around, trying to make sure that he knows when a drop is coming, if one is coming from KeeN at all.
They're going to be equal on upgrades in just a second here. But, I mean, KeeN, he's getting up a fusion core, which I believe is going to be for Liberators. We ain't going to be seeing any battle cruisers. I mean, there's a possibility, but I'd probably write that one off. So most likely just getting into Liberators for this PvT. This section of the game hasn't changed too much. If it eventually does reach that Liberator versus Tempest engagement, that's going to be a very important thing to see how that dynamic works out. As
we do have a Robotics Bay coming in here too, so we could see that Disruptor kind of mess up how standard this section of the game has been for PvT. We'll see if we'll see how the split abilities are for KeeN. I mean, the thing is that Terrans have been splitting against Banelings for their entire history of StarCraft 2. So splitting's not really that big of a deal.
Not that big of a deal. Man, those tanks, they were not too kind to their friendly SCVs there.
No, definitely not. That friendly splash damage is always a problem.
Now, KeeN's moving out on the map, but Creator, he's sort of caught in between. And I mean, his army isn't that big out on the map, so I mean, it's possible that KeeN can get a good sandwich, but there's High Templar in this Warp Prism, so KeeN has to run back. Widowmine's going off, but there's still a lot of High Templar in that Prism, so KeeN really has to respect that. Some Liberators getting set up as KeeN just sort of has to run away, trying to get as far away from those High Templar as possible.
Yeah, getting on out. Oh, there's that Warp Prism. That's bait. Oh, can he get it? He almost gets the Warp Prism. Nice Storm, but a nice Storm dodge, too. Out of KeeN, and we're just playing Ring Around the Rosie.
We are. These guys finally going to get on their right side of the map. No longer a cutoff there. But, I mean, time is being bought for Creator, and he is going into that Stargate. And, I mean, the Carriers and the Tempest were changed, so the Protoss Golden Armada will be a bit different, depending on what he chooses. But he's also getting up those Colossus, Extended Thermalance, getting up all sorts of other tech. Meanwhile, KeeN getting up +2 for his Liberators, and going to be just teching up these Oracles, by the way.
Ooh, free tank.
Oh, man, and there's actually no missile turret here.
Some pretty good. Oh, but the Cyclone hits, man. That hurts a lot.
Oh, man.
Storm drop on all of the things here at the third base of KeeN, and then just pick up and booze out. No big deal.
Creator coming on in with the offensive Storm drop, just saying, I don't have to worry about losing this, as he has very good Prism control and did a lot of damage. So KeeN, his medivacs have to work overtime, but he's just going to go for a big drop. He knows that he doesn't want to wait for that big late game versus late game engagement, but here we are. Tempest are on the way, and we're on the balanced test mod. So these guys, they're going to be quicker, they're going to be weaker, but most importantly, they're going to, well, I already said quicker, they're going to be so much faster, and this is going to make them so interesting here.
It's speed and it's acceleration, right?
Yeah, so the thing is, like, look how fast these things are.
Yeah.
And look how these things are going to be so microable. They're going to be a lot weaker to Vikings, but these things, I mean, they're going to be a lot weaker, but they should never get hit by Vikings, because they're just going to be so quick they can just duke and dodge. We will see, though. I mean,
we'll see. Not that we have any Vikings in production for KeeN.
Oh, yeah, KeeN just
eventually
for that Mass Liberator. Was anything else changed about the Tempest, did you see?
I don't know. Let me look. Tempest is cheaper, and supply cost goes down from 6 to 5.
Okay. What's the...
that's it.
I understand the supply cost. What's the new price of them, though?
The new price is $250-$175, down from $300-$200.
$250-$175. Okay, that's a fair bit lower. We'll see how... I mean, it really comes down to how well Protoss control them, as to whether the health trade-off is worth it. DTs are cleaning up this drop that KeeN went for, by the way. Oh, that's High Templar getting off some nasty storms there. KeeN's coming on in with this bio, though it's still putting out a lot of damage, even though it's bruised. Gonna scan to pick up the DTs, and KeeN's hitting Creator in 2 locations right now. Zealots are gonna warp into the main base to try and deal with this, but they're not all going in there. Creator's coming on back to try and deal with this. Tempest are actually gonna pursue. And,
yeah,
man, these Tempest are so quick. Look at them just go.
They're no longer lagging behind the rest of the Protoss army.
They just gotta go fast. No, yeah, they aren't.
The problem is, this drop is still happening from KeeN.
Oh my god. Like, it hasn't gotten too much damage done, but has really pulled Creator apart. He's now unpowered some important buildings, and he's even gonna get a few probes while this is going on. This drop really getting its money's worth. And oh man, Creator with the DT blink. They made it so that they can blink like twice as often, didn't they?
Shadow Stride. Let's find out. Shadow Stride. Research time reduced from 121 to 100, and cooldown reduced from 21 to 14 seconds. So yes, you can Shadow Stride more often than you used to be able to.
Okay, wow, look at these Tempests just go. Where's this one going? He's just running. Okay, he's gonna go deal with this Liberator here.
Ah, okay. Like, the fire rate's still the same, the attack damage still the same. You actually need to fire at the Liberator, though, Guy.
Yeah.
Guy?
He's got some
Tempest?
serious stage fright. He's like, oh man, what if these guys don't like my new patch? Okay, there he goes. Liberator doing a good job denying mining, though. And I mean, KeeN, he got the base in the bottom right, which is no small pickoff. And he's getting up towards his own 5th base. Creator may have something to say about that, because, I mean, in theory, Creator's in a very good spot right now with his late-game Protoss army. KeeN getting a Raven is interesting enough as well.
Oh. Definitely is. Marauders? Oh, these Marauders are doing work against
those Stalkers blink forward, but they quickly regretted that.
Wow, just a crushing. Marauder versus Stalker has always been an unfair fight, though.
Yes,
that
it
bonus
has.
Damage
Those Stalkers,
is a huge deal.
They didn't get changed or buffed or anything. Now, KeeN, he's got all these Vikings to deal with the Tempest and Colossus, but they're coming on in here. There's lots of Psystorm going down. An anti-armor missile.
Ooh.
These Tempest, I mean, the Vikings are getting on top of them, so the Tempest will die quicker here. The Colossus still standing strong, and KeeN doesn't have too much bio on the ground in order to deal with this, so while the Tempest are getting cleaned up, the Colossus are the most important thing to kill. He targets one of them. There was an anti-armor missile in there as well, so Cheeto dust all over those units. But KeeN, look at this. He's down on supply right now, and a lot of his supply is in Medivacs.
Yeah, this is looking really good out of Creator. He's pushing in. He's got Archons. He's got Stalkers and Colossus. He took down that 3rd base really no problem. Let's see if we can get a 4th base or the 5th base.
Oh, man.
That'd be a nice pickup here, too.
Holy
it is
moly.
171 to 126 supply.
Yeah,
and the
5 Archons on the way. This is looking pretty rough. All those Immortals, too. The Colossus. I think KeeN's in trouble right now. I mean, he was so focused on dealing with the Tempest that he really underestimated the ground army, I guess. SCVs are coming from all sides, but SCVs pulling into Archons is never a good thing. The Vikings, congrats, you killed the Tempest, but you got a bigger problem on the ground.
Yeah, and there it is. There's your good game. Creator wins it to avoid the sweep and will force a game number 4.
Yeah, Creator really coming together there. Now, that was interesting to see, the new Tempest. I haven't seen them. I literally hadn't seen them at all before that. And so, they're so fast, man. Like, and we saw KeeN. I mean, that was sort of just like a classic Terran thing, though. You overcommit to dealing with the Tempest, but then there's all the Colossus, which the Tempest bought time for, and all the other scary things on the ground. So, I mean, we'll get into the next game here.
Should be a good one. Yeah, just watching that final engagement, the ground army just wasn't ready. You're absolutely right. There was nothing to deal with that many Archons and Stalkers and Storms, High Templar all over the place. It was a lot of Viking. But, I mean, honestly, if you can clean up the ground army there of Creator, you're just fine in dealing with the Tempests after that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, KeeN had Ghosts, but the thing is, that engagement came in so quick. Like, he came in so fast. Yeah, he came in just so quick. And then KeeN, like, he had a pretty good army. Like, he had Liberators, he had Ghosts, but he didn't have time to take that engagement. Creator just dove right on top of him.
Indeed.
Both these guys are ready. Go, go, go.
Let's move. Okay, it's going to be Dreamcatcher for the next map. I know people are always asking about that in chat. What's the next map? What's the next map?
Okay. But here we are. Spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. He had the lead. I mean, earlier today we were casting and there was a lot of reverse sweeps or attempts, but it's KeeN from Revolution. He doesn't want that to happen.
Definitely not. It would be not a good time for him. And in the top left, it's the blue Protoss player. It is Creator.
All right. Creator walling off on the low ground, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that is a weird thing to do against Terran. I'm not exactly sure what the concept of that would be.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen it in which some Protoss, like, they go for walls here or here just in order to be able to block the Reaper, but he's not going to... The pylon doesn't reach far enough to get a Cybercore or anything up there to block that, so This is it ain't no PVZ creator. But he's just coming in, scouting nice and early. Maybe he's going to go for a Cybercore first or something like that, or maybe he'll just go for his Nexus, but it is looking like it will just be a low ground wall-off versus Terran, which is always interesting because when you factor in the new Cyclone as well, like things on the low ground, if you played back in the early Legacy of the Void, Cyclone rushes were definitely a thing.
They were really, really good, too.
Ain't that the truth?
All right, well, just a little bit of probe harassment here. Nothing too crazy. We see this all the time in the PVT's probe. A little bit low on HP, so really can't do much as far as the block goes. Almost got it anyway, though. Regardless, SCP finally gets to work there. Didn't quite have the money to throw it down right when it was open to do so, which is always sort of hilarious.
Oh, look at
but
this.
That's stubborn.
KeeN, he skipped the Reaper.
Ah, didn't even bother this time.
No, yeah, I guess, I mean, good call for Creator then, going for the low ground wall-off, I guess. Now, Adept is on the way. So is the Factory back at home, so we'll see. I mean, in theory, 2 more Marines should be out for KeeN. Adept now moving across the map. Going to be able to test the waters, shade in, get that scout off. And actually a stalker to follow this up. So Creator maybe looking to put the pressure on his opponent. And
Sure
here
looks
comes
like
in
it,
that Adept.
which-
The Marines weren't clumped up. He wasn't waiting for the other one, so that SCV has to get pulled off. And it was actually injured from the probe, so it goes down there.
Adept really wants to take these 3 Marines down, but ever since they changed it to Adept's 3-shot Marines, instead of 2-shot them, it is much more difficult to do it in these smaller numbers.
That was a very significant change, but now the Stalker's coming on in here. And if this command center gets delayed, it looks like the Marines should be able to buy enough time for it to finish up, but still going to be a very good trade for Creator right now, as he manages to pick off yet another Marine. The Adept also going to give the vision there, so the Stalker can push up the ramp. There's going to be a Widow Mine here, which can, you know, burrow just at the ramp and shut this down, but still a nice bit of pressure there from Creator, making KeeN feel uneasy.
But yeah, the Widow Mine shuts that down. It's time to go home. And back home, Blink's being researched. Additional gateways coming in here too for Creator. And just more Widow Mines on the way here from KeeN, which again, great at dealing with anything, really. The Protoss can throw at you. Great against Oracles, great against Phoenix. Stalkers especially, fantastic Adepts and Zealots. I mean, there's nothing at this stage of the game that you would want your Widow Mine not firing on.
That's very true. I mean, they're so cost efficient. They're only 75 minerals and 25 gas, so the only Protoss unit that they're not cost efficient killing is pretty much just a probe, maybe an Adept, maybe a Zealot, but everything else, no. Fire away.
Absolutely. All right, Medevac is here, going to heal up our wounded Marine buddy. Robotics facility coming in here from Creator. And probably going to see those Immortals. He's been making good use of them so far in the series thus far. And oh, it's going to be a Widow Mine drop this time. These are not defensive Widow Mines, LaughNgamez. These are going to be moved out.
They are not. I want to see a Terran bring out the fast drilling claws build. There's a double factory fast drilling claws build in which you just drop tons and tons of mines, and players, they're not used to how fast they burrow, and now they'd also be invisible after they fire. So I'm all for a Terran trying that out. But,
absolutely. That said, an Observer's on the way from Creator.
It is indeed.
Kind of does shut down your little Widow Mine play if you're trying to be cute with it. That said, where the heck did our Medevac go?
Well, there's one there and one there. It's going to be the double whammy.
Okay.
And I mean, a lot of mines are going to be coming the way of Creator, but his Stalkers are moving out on the map. Maybe looking to try and catch something. And oh, he's actually checking around.
He's trying to
What's
find
this
that
probe up to? Oh, he's just scouting around as well. He's looking for this. But here comes that drop into the natural. Now Creator, not expecting this. Those mines are going to burrow. Something's going to have to come out. Actually, good blink there, dodging that out. But now here comes in the mines in the main base. There was... Oh my god! I didn't see that behind the... Oh, 15 kills. I didn't see that mine behind the robo. Just Jesus. I would not blame Creator if he GG's out now, but oh man, that mine hit for KeeN.
All the probes evacuated
that is
from
a
the mineral line
Protoss nightmare right there.
They thought they were safe.
They did too. I was wondering, I saw 2 mines and I thought there was 3 in that Medivac, and there it was. There it was.
Sneaky. So sneaky. Well done by KeeN. Just a great play. I mean, it's 44 to 34 harvesters. Crater is down a substantial number, as you would expect after that hit. But he's still in it. He's still in it. He's going for charge. He's getting +1/+1 for his ground units. He's trying to replace those probes that he lost earlier using Chronobos to do it. His third base is up as well, but guess who's coming in? That's right. It's more Widow Mines.
Oh my god, this is just a Protoss nightmare right now. Now, Creator, he did get off a fairly quick third base, so in theory, if he can Chrono Boost out probes, he'll be fine. He actually does catch that Medivac, which is nice. He's got to avoid those mines and bait them out, and that Observer will allow him just to kill those straight off, which is very important for him. So shutting down anything future is nice, but oh, mines once again. Just that single Widow Mine. Oh man, Creator.
20 workers killed.
Guys, if you ever lose a lot of probes to Widow Mines, you don't have to feel bad because it happens to someone like Creator too.
That's right. It happens to Creator, it can happen to anybody. And here comes KeeN with a little follow-up push here. More Widow Mines, got some Marauders in the mix too. Stim is complete.
It is.
It is. It's the only upgrade that is
complete. It's going to be Combat Shield versus just 10 Blink Stalkers. The Stalkers will have won one soon, but I mean, this Terran army is going to be looking pretty scary. A Sentry is warped in for Creator. He's got an Immortal on the way, which is going to be so important for being the backbone in this army, because this bio, it's looking pretty scary. When there's just Stalkers to stop bio, it's never a good thing for the Protoss player.
Nope, 100% not. All right, so
and these rocks weren't knocked down either.
Oh, that's a wide open attack
now, which
area.
is actually really important. Oh, KeeN's trying to make it. Oh,
that would have been fantastic for Creator, but KeeN a little bit too smart.
Oh, he loads up into his Medivacs, and he's actually going to be really exposed. Oh, the good blink picks off one of them, almost gets the second. Massive pick off there for Creator. That's when he needs to come back into this game.
Man, Creator's actually pulled ahead in workers, 55 to 48.
Yeah, KeeN's really committing.
Right now.
He's got a third base on the way, but this is effectively just a two-base play. But this is so much Terran right here. I mean, there's going to be some Zealots out, but charge is done. There's some good force fields going down, but Widow Mines unloading on top of the army here. And this is actually so many Widow Mines. Creator's going to have PTSD after this. Right now, these Stalkers, they're got to try and blink back. More Zealots warping on in to try and close the distance. Probes are going to try and go back to mining, but they got to be so careful. There's so many Widow Mines out here, and this Terran army is just so huge. I mean, Creator's fighting it back, though.
Stalkers you're defending.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with it, warping in more and more Zealots. Cleaning up a lot of the mines here. Warp Prism takes a hit, but that's okay. It can do so, and he's just microing back these units. He's warping in on that Prism that's injured, which is so risky, but he's fighting this back, and the Stalkers, they can do a pretty good job pursuing bio, and KeeN is being forced back by Creator. This is definitely the 1-1 upgrades coming into play there for Creator, giving him that longevity.
And in the meantime, KeeN was SCVing up behind that. He's up 56 to 52 workers right now against the Protoss player, transferring over to that third base. He's got mules coming down here too. So economically, he should be able to sustain further attacks for pretty much as long as he wants.
All right, probe gets picked off there. Creator still got to make the hold. Just fighting in this choke point. He's got his Warp Prism going in with some Zealot counter harassment, which could be absolutely huge for him. He's also buying time until he gets to his 2-2. He's really playing this gateway style. And I mean, once his 2-2's done, his gateway units are going to be fantastic versus the army of KeeN. Good force fields going down as well. He blinks forward, which is pretty darn aggressive versus his bio, but some more Zealots coming on in. Stalkers, they now have 2-2, so, I mean, these Marauders, they're going to take a lot longer to kill all these units. Creator, I mean, he did bleed off a fair bit versus that, though.
There is an attack in KeeN's main base at the same time, though.
Yeah. Here comes in these Zealots. SCVs are pulled. Mine's actually doing a bit of friendly fire there, and this Warp Prism stays alive. Good on you for pointing that out. But this Warp Prism coming on in here.
Trying to get out with its life intact, dropping some of the Zealots as a distraction there, and does manage to escape. To this point, it has been 24 workers killed by KeeN, and Creator has killed 8 SCVs of his own.
Yeah, that Prism still being alive is so important. And look at this, Creator. He sent a probe out earlier, but I wasn't sure if it's the case. But no, he does want to take the gold base as his next base. And, I mean, that's so risky versus the Terran just because of... This is just a line across the map. Creator's just got to defend so much that could come from any position vertically. So he's got to be very careful in that regard. But, I mean, if you are going to be playing this heavy ground Protoss style, having the extra gold base income is definitely going to help out. Here comes in that Warp Prism once again. Zealots, I mean, these are highly upgraded Zealots. They've got a nice lead. They can definitely keep the pressure on. And this Warp Prism
Prism staying alive has been so important for Creator to keep that pressure up. That said, this
man,
top
yeah.
right-hand base is trying to be sneaked in here.
It's not going to be getting up this time.
It's too cute. It is too cute. The Nexus is going to go down. It really should be canceled. There you go. There's the cancel. Pylon down too. Can't cancel that one, unfortunately.
Creator does have his 3-3 on the way, and oh man, here he comes in towards the third base. There is 2 Widow Mines, but these Zealots, this is a lot of Zealots, and they're going to be... I can't overstate enough. This is an upgrade advantage for Creator, so this bio takes forever to clean these up. Good Warp Prism Micro. They're picking those Zealots up before the mine connects, and oh man, just this Warp Prism Micro from Creator. He's looking so good right now. More and more Zealots are just running on in here, pulling the full army back. Meanwhile, I would like to see another expansion go up for Creator, but he's actually coming across the map with everything he has right now. He may be trying to hit just one of these gateway timings.
Yeah, he tried to expand. That didn't work out, so he's like, you know what? Screw expansion. Let's go 3 bases. That said, he did just start a 4th base Nexus a little bit closer to home.
Yeah, which I think is he sort of says, fine, I'll take the Nexus I'm supposed to, but this ground army. 2-2 is not yet done for KeeN. It's going to be another just few seconds off, but here comes in Creator right now. He's going to have force fields in this army, which is going to help out so much. He's also got the Guardian Shield and so many Zealots right now. These Liberators are going to help out KeeN tremendously, but he's cut off from his natural base right now, and more Protoss Warpins going down. Creator with such a strong army right now.
It's always sad to see Zealots get their charge animation started and then kind of hold it back.
It just says no.
They don't.
It's like if your dog sees something on the side of the road and it tries to go for it. It's like, no.
Yep, gets yanked by its leash.
Oh man, there's
back
force
to where
fields
it was.
here. Wow. I mean,
Creator
Creator locking KeeN out of his main
ramp.
base. Liberators rally out, but they don't get set up in time. And suddenly, KeeN, he's locked out of his natural. He's going to be taking losses here. However, Creator is very committed.
Liberator down. Still one here doing some work. Gets that high ground and does manage almost to pick down the Liberator, but no, not quite there. Natural base getting hit by Archons from the ground, Sentries from the ground. That is just too much responding bio, though. The Zealots need to get up here.
Creator,
Everybody needs
he's got
to
a
be
lot of Zealots on the
comprehensive.
right side, though, that aren't partaking in this fight. He needs everything fighting right now, because this can be one of those snowball situations. Some more of the Zealots coming on in here. The Archons being microed to the best of Creator's ability. His Warp Prism micro this game has been so on point, but so far the third base is still alive for KeeN, which is going to help him out, but his bio is so overstim. That Warp Prism going to try and be focused down, but
this Immortal is just one-shotting.
Oh my god.
Look at this Immortal go.
Big Daddy comes on in to clean everything up, and he's got that plus 3-3, so he just slaughtered so many of those units. It looks like KeeN will eventually force this back, but he took a beating there. One hell of a beating at that.
Wow. That said, it is, 59 to 40 workers right now. Our Protoss player is way up. He's got his 4 bases. Effectively sitting on 3 right now is KeeN. More Immortals on the way here too. And there was an upgrade denied. The Armory got killed while I was working on something. I have to assume that it was air... I don't know. Air armor, maybe?
Yeah, either way. I mean, Creator still with that fantastic 3-3. And oh man, I love it when a Protoss does this, starting up his shields as well. Gonna help out the Archons, just help all the units be so much tankier.
And it's gonna work. It's gonna work here too. So yeah, both players kind of pulling back and licking their wounds. Took some serious hits. The supply at the end of the battle was about 73 to 75, so not like Creator had a giant, massive lead there. And a lot of that was worker supply. So his army was not quite big enough to finish the job. And KeeN is able to sit back and macro up a little bit. He's working on a Ghost Academy. Some EMPs would be something that I'd be very interested in seeing, as well as possibly nukes, although probably less likely.
Yeah, I mean, so there will be that Ghost High Templar dance, but I think we need to be asking ourselves right now, is Creator a Zerg? Because he's just making so many Zealots and Stalkers and just overwhelming his opponent like a Zerg player would. But
yeah, I mean, the problem, as always, is that gateway units do not do very well against bio, especially as time goes on.
Yeah. I'm fine with it now, as long as he's got the upgrade lead. And I mean, Zealots are still pretty good versus bio, while the Terran is trying to manage all of those mines and Liberators. But once the bio is supported by those mines and Liberators, the Protoss has to be so careful about committing on in.
Yeah, we don't even see KeeN starting his 3-3 at this point for the bio.
No, he's just so broke. He's resigned himself to being on 2-2.
That's such a huge advantage. It's going to be that way for a while. So Ghost, we have seen in production.
Yeah,
no sign of any nukes, unfortunately, but definitely some EMP play gonna happen.
Yeah, he did opt to go for the Ghost to get the EMP off instead of getting his own 3-3. It's definitely a trade-off there, but oh man, looks like we could be heading into a base trade situation. There is so much for Creator. I think KeeN's going to be in trouble right now. KeeN's going to be heading towards that 5th base, but his ground army just isn't that big, so he's going to have to take a fantastic trade and clear these bases out so efficiently because Creator, he's now going to be heading on in towards this 3rd base.
If Creator takes down the 3rd base of KeeN and then just warps on home, that's going to be such a huge blow.
Oh man, and he blinks on into the main base as well with all of these stalkers. The Warp Prism going to shuffle in some High Templar Storms going down to help shut us down.
Storms.
Oh my god,
SCV's
absolutely
here fighting
amazing.
more Liberators just walking right into range of these stalkers though.
This is a lot of Liberators though.
It is, but the Stalker's doing a pretty good job staying out of the defender mode circles. These guys have been given a lot of time to just wipe out that 4th and 5th base.
Yeah,
entirely
so
3rd base.
Getting his own damage done, but I mean, this army, he has to deal with all these Zealots at some point. And there is 32 Zealots out on the map.
It's a lot of fully upgraded Zealots. I mean, not fully, but 3-3 with 1 shield is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good. I mean, Creator is going to be losing his 3rd base, so he's not going to have many more Warpins. He's trying to take that gold base once again. He says, I want it, as he was denied it at the start of the game. But now this really is entering a full-on base trade. KeeN will lose one of his command centers. He's got one of them still alive. And oh no, it's actually burning down.
No, it's dead.
SCVs, no! Oh my god.
2 hit points! Manages to save it.
SCVs, the heroes. That command center can now float back to safety. Or it can try and get mining, but for now it really is going to come down to these 2 armies. KeeN, he can always get set up in his main base with his Liberators, and there's only 6 Stalkers here. There's High Templar and a Warp Prism, which is always going to be a threat for a Terran, but these Liberators really could just lock this position down for KeeN. And all it takes is one bad engagement from the Protoss, and he's got it, but here comes in those High Templar. They're going to get so many Storms down. They can feed back as well if they want. He does lose one of the Templar.
Which is a pretty big deal. Any unit lost at this point is going to be pretty awesome stuff here. KeeN wrecking these production facilities for Creator. Creator's going to try to come up this ramp.
Oh, man. Can he, though? There's
Liberators,
ghosts
man.
and...
Yeah.
Oh,
EMP. Feedback and EMP.
Yeah, that was like...
What
happened there? There's still 3 ghosts alive, though. And KeeN, he's actually mining down here.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad on worker supply considering the state of the game.
Creator
16 to 18 right
well.
now, but the gold is helping the income be a lot higher for Creator at this stage.
Oh, there goes a fantastic storm down. Oh man, on all those Liberators.
Oh.
Those units, they gotta split up. Little mine. Oh, the friendly fire kills 2 of the Liberators.
What a clutch play there!
Heal drops for KeeN to repair. But
he sends the hallucinated Phoenix in to draw the Widow on fire into his own Liberators. What a play from the Protoss.
KeeN has got to build a lot of supply depots before he gets up into anything else. Now, Creator on his side of the map, though, he's getting up a Cybernetics core. He's getting up some more gateways. Keep those 2 gateways actually allowing him to get a Cyber core is very important because he can get more Stalkers sooner. But, I mean, picking off those 2 Liberators was so huge for him.
Absolutely impressive for sure. 104 to 83 supply. Both workers are pretty much the same for each player here, the worker count. But that's a lot of Zealots on the ground for the Protoss player, which can be good depending on the micro involved of the Terran player. And are we just kind of, I don't know what exactly Creator's army is doing right now. Some of it is here to kill every single SCV that's on the ground for KeeN.
Yeah, poor KeeN just been rebuilding everything, but it looks like it's all going to get picked off. I mean, he was trying to rebuild all of his supply depots, but those units are now running, as he never actually managed to make a unit despite mining for a fair bit. And this is why whenever there's a Terran base trade, I know it's so specific, I like to see the Terran try and hide the supply depots that they rebuild in a base trade. But oh man, fantastic storm there. And feedback.
Zigguratafur in chat says the game would have been easily won for Creator with the old recall with a larger recall radius.
I completely forgot about the recall change, but fantastic storm going down there for Creator.
EMP on a couple of the Zealots there. I'm not sure that exactly what your target
High Templar in this prism though. And all it's going to take is 1 or 2 more good storms. Creator looking for it, but KeeN does GG out. And look at this, going to a game number 5.
Wow,
what an awesome match.
Fantastic match. Going to the base race. Eventually, just too many Zealots on the ground, too much EMP. Creator manages to force the game at number 5. What an absolute player. And a situation where it did not look good for him a couple times during that match, but able to make it happen with, again, largely gateway stuff. Zealots, Stalkers, High Templar, Sentries, calling it good.
Gotta find out what the last map is here.
Right.
Saraland Fall. Okay, so the big one.
It is.
But
really
this has been a fantastic series. We were talking about it at the start, and everyone was really hyped out for this lineup. And it's been producing some great games. KeeN versus Creator, and then we have Tasia versus True after this, no matter who takes it. And then the winners of these two series will play. So, oh man, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be the best.
It's going to be good. But, all right, let's get everyone on into the lobby and get into the next game.
There we go. KeeN Creator, KeeN hopping into the lobby here. Thanks everybody for joining us. 285 or 86 viewers here on Afreeca. Thanks for joining us for your Saturday night or super early morning in Korea and kind of in between elsewhere on the world. Yeah, it looks like some excited players there in chat for sure. One of these days, maybe I'll learn how to read Korean, but today is not that day.
I'm not sure if I've said it before, but I want to learn how to read Korean, but there's no classes near me, unfortunately, so.
Yep, that makes it hard.
All right, yeah, it definitely does. But here we are. It's 2-2. It's an ace match, which is always awesome to see. And this guy spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map. It is KeeN. He doesn't want to let this one slip away.
Nah, being up 2-0 and going home empty-handed is such a bad feeling. And in the top right-hand corner, the blue Protoss, it is Creator.
Indeed. All right, now build-wise, I mean, we can't really predict what's going to happen. We have seen a few Cyclones and a few aspects of the balance patch, but, I mean, we're just... Eventually we'll find out what the new meta is going to be with all of these changes on. And we are not on the balance test mod.
Dang it, so close.
I thought for a second, and I was thinking about the changes, and I thought, wait a second, I should check. I don't remember. I just defaulted to WCS Gameheart again. It's just, I type in every game I ever cast, WCS Gameheart.
Yeah, it's just muscle memory at this point. Nano1891 says you can try to find Korean courses online to help you how to read.
Yeah.
In Korean.
That is, I don't have a valid excuse for not doing that, but
difficult.
Yeah, it's one of those things you got to set aside a lot of time, otherwise you won't get very far. It's on the list of things to do, though.
All right, getting into the correct version of this map balance test mod, it says in the top left. You can't see it, but I can, and I'm double checking, which I probably should be doing anyway, just to help you out. And yeah, getting into Cerulean Fall correctly on the test mod here. It's going to be more Protoss versus Terran action.
Yeah, what an awesome series, though. Okay, and here we are. It's 2-2 again. Spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map again. It's KeeN.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, it is Creator.
I'm actually so glad Blizzard added the chrono thing, because that's how I check to make sure we're on the balance test mod.
Yeah, it's you don't have to wait for it.
Because otherwise, there's no really other way to tell. I don't think you can check actually by the Protoss refineries. I guess that would be the next thing to come up.
Yep, and those usually come in the first minute or so.
So how much health did they originally have? They had 500, was it? And now
yeah, I thought it was around like 800 total. Okay. Reduced from 450 to 300.
I mean, if this was back in the days, Polt would be so excited, just because of whenever he'd be doing those Marauder drops back in the day. But Terrans, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll go back to always sniping refineries. Or assimilators, pardon me.
Right. Once again, a little bit more harassment here from the probe. The Terran is annoyed with us to this point, but also pretty prepared at dealing with it. And now let's see how long it takes. You know, the thing is, Terran players at this point kind of send out the SCVs early before they have enough minerals to expand, just because they're counting on being annoyed by the probe. Oh, nice pincer move there, though.
It's just been the same dance every game. Oh, man.
Yep.
That SCV, he wants that probe, but he ain't going to get it. Command center goes up. And, yeah. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, since it is the larger map, if we do see a Stargate from Creator once again, but he has also liked opening up with the Blink, so... I mean, that last game was just so awesome to see him using that sort of mass gateway charge lot style, showing that it is legit for Protoss. But an Adept coming out for Creator at first, going to be for the scouting and whatnot, and also to deny the Reaper.
And yeah, fairly standard game here. It is the Reaper moving in. We've got a Stargate opening from our friend Creator, trying to see what's going on there. Reaper doesn't want to go inside the main base. Adept waiting for him. So he's just going to take some pot shots at the Nexus and then get out of there, which is kind of hilarious. I mean, not that I can blame Creator. That last game was insane. And I'm sure he's just like, I don't want to play dodge the Adept the whole time. Let's just make sure an expansion came up. And other than that, we'll head on home.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right now, that Reaper still just sharking around, partially just to keep the Protoss on their toes, but second Adept going to see to that. And we are going to see a Cyclone coming out of KeeN once again.
Excellent.
Yeah, always awesome to see that.
All right, so Adept going to get up here. Nope, transfers on out. We have some Adepts defending against the Reaper harass. Here comes the Cyclone, likely going to be used in a defensive fashion at this stage. Really hard to send it out by itself in most situations, but pretty good in a defensive situation where there are SCVs available to repair as necessary. Oracle takes down our Reaper friend, and in production, another Oracle out of Creator.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see that 3, but I mean, it's interesting how the Cyclone's going to change the dynamic. And I know it's not smaller, but I swear it is.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it being smaller.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I mean, it's interesting how it's going to change the dynamic of the matchup, because the Cyclone, like, Protoss used to be able, once, if the Reaper died, Protoss could poke and prod with the Adepts, and it would take a long time before those units could be pushed away. But the Cyclone fills that role for the Terran now, in which it can really punish that Protoss who keep units hanging around on the map.
Yeah, exactly. Could just chase them down and murder them straight up.
As grim as that is, but yeah. Now, KeeN, he's going to be likely getting up his starport soon, as he is going into this just 3 racks, 2 base bio play.
Yep, working on that stem, working on that combat shield. Got a shield battery coming up for defense back home here, too. Really worried about aggression here from KeeN, and can't necessarily say that I disagree with that.
Yeah, it's important to be safe as the Protoss player, but now these 2 Oracles are moving out on the map. I mean, it's not uncommon for Terrans to do things like Hellion run-bys, so Protoss always have to be prepared for something like that, because according to Creator, all he's seen is just the factory there and nothing else, so he doesn't know what else is coming his way, but it is this 3 racks. Identifying this soon for him is important, though.
Yeah, he needs to see it. He's got a couple of Oracles that are ready to move in. I think the Adepts are going to pressure at the front, then it's going to swing backside and see what damage they can do, because there is no turret there whatsoever. Are they going to try to draw? Thinking about, nicely done lifting the supply depot there. The Marines do not move a muscle, though. And I think, yep, the Oracles should be able to come in and get something done, at least forcing the Marines to respond, but instead they're just hanging out. Yep, Adepts coming in once again. Nice lift on that supply depot, and again, nice cancel from Creator. So Blinks being researched, 3rd Nexus coming in for Creator at the 12 o'clock position on the map. Concussive Shell being researched from the Terran player. And yeah, there's that 3rd Nexus. Definitely want that against the Terran player, who is looking to play a little bit defensively, looking to get up a large force before coming in to attack you. So here we go. Oracle's coming in. Cyclones. Adepts continuing to move on in, though. There's the deny, and they head on back out. So just some poking here from Creator. He hasn't really committed to anything at this stage of the game, but did get a 3rd base up back home.
Yeah, Creator back at home, he does have to be a bit worried about this move out of KeeN, because he's investing in charge, he's getting in +1, but besides that, he just has Blink Stalkers, so he's got to make that sort of bare bones gateway unit hold. And I mean, he knows that this move out for KeeN is coming because of this revelation. And oh man, KeeN actually with 2 armies here, just got one to the south.
Yeah, looking really scary against basically Stalker Adept Sentry with a couple Oracles in the sky. It looks like it's going to be a tight hold. if KeeN goes for it, especially with the Oracles.
Oh,
picking
man,
up
the
one.
Oracles. Oh, losing those is a massive blow.
Oh, both of them.
Good force fields there on one side, but not enough on the right side there. So this bio is getting on top of the army. So it looks like KeeN may be the guy who's going to win out right now. I mean, there's a lot of stalkers for Creator. He's just got to micro his heart out. And I mean, with good enough micro, he can make this happen. He's done a very good job keeping his other stalkers alive, but he's accepted the fact that some probes are going to die. He's pulling a few into the fray. Stalkers actually blink forward to avoid the Widowmines, doing some more good micro. It looks like he may actually be able to hold on. I mean, I sort of wrote him off there, but I mean, yeah, the bio, good defense for Creator with just a ton of stalkers.
Yeah, the initial attack looked bad, but then Creator was able to bring in a ton of stalkers on the reinforcement. Blink micro was pretty fantastic, and he did manage to save the day. So third base still happily running, while KeeN's third base is not even completed yet. And it is 55 to 50 total workers. Charge just about done here for the Protoss players, working on +1 attack as well, and it's not doesn't even need it here.
Oh my gosh, if he cancels this third, that's huge. Marauder's going to come on and try and save this command center. It's so important. He does manage to push him back, though. This is that's so important for KeeN to save that. He had to have been worried there. Now, Creator, I mean, I'm excited to see how he's going to play this game. He held on with his Blink Stalkers, but now he's got into his charge. He's getting up a Robo, but whether he'll stick on this heavy gateway style again is something I'm excited to see. Like whether he'll throw up a second Forge and just go hard on those upgrades again. I mean, because that last game on Dreamcatcher was so exciting to watch.
It really was. Robotics Bay coming up here. There it is for the Protoss player Creator. Hasn't used the Disruptor yet. He's gone for Colossus once. But have we seen Disruptor play the new Disruptor? I don't think we have. We probably would have commented on it.
No, we haven't just yet. I mean, there's the possibility since he has gone for the Robo, but Protoss do like a Colossus or two in their PVT. A Mind Drop actually going out. I mean, we all remember the Mind Drop on Dreamcatcher. Which, by the way, Creator won that game with the Mind Drop, didn't he?
He did.
Oh,
what an
man.
impressive
This
comeback
goes to
for
show.
him.
Look at this. KeeN being such a pain, though, retargeting that Widowmine.
A couple probes go down, but again, nothing much of a huge deal there. Warp Prism on the way here, 2 from Creator. And pulling back a little bit here is KeeN. Doesn't quite like a situation. He wants to make sure his third base is a little bit more firmly entrenched here. Bit of a wall of supply depots to deal with further Zealot run-bys. And it is going to be Colossus for Creator. Got the Colossus as well, the extended thermal... Yeah, thermal lance coming in here too.
I mean, this really forces Terran's hand, but the thing I love to note about Creator this game, he's invested in like he lost his first 2 oracles, but then he built another for map vision, which is so important for the Protoss to do, because Terran, it's all about trying to get the jump on your opponent. And so now here comes in KeeN, but Creator, he's had the oracle, however, it didn't actually see this part of the army. He can probably assume there's a move out, but where exactly it is, he's got to be ready for it, and he's nervous.
Yeah, he is. And this is really for all the marbles right now. If you lose here, win gets you to the final. So here we go. The defender mode circles are all over the place right now. Trying to bring in Zealots, trying to make the Stalkers deal with everything from the outside of the circles here. The Colossus doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, shield battery even healing them. The Liberators, I think, need to reposition here.
Yeah, they're not helping at all.
But there's a lot of bio right now. He's going to get on top of one of the Colossus, picks it off. That's absolutely massive for KeeN. He's looking for another one. It's kiting back to the shield battery, staying alive, but there's not enough of a buffer. Meanwhile, there's counter attacks going on with the Zealots, but not amounting to much if you're dead on the front lines. This bio is chasing down, kills off the Colossus. 2 more are on the way if Creator can manage to hold on, but KeeN, he's looking pretty good so far. There's just not enough for the Protoss player, it looks like, and his 4th Nexus has to be canceled.
Wow, massive attack there from KeeN, making it happen. I'd love to see the Liberators set up their circles on the ramps a little bit more than here on the low ground, but I guess you do have to worry about the Colossus just cliff walking. That said, KeeN pushing into the third base, and that is just so much bile. The Stalkers, even with shield battery.
GG. He doesn't even try, doesn't even wait for the 2 Colossus. He just knows that with those Liberators choking him out. Fantastic play by KeeN, just diving on in there so decisively. Like, it's so risky to dive on Colossus, but KeeN just managed to make it happen, had enough. Creator just not quite prepared for that. He didn't quite see that move out, so he wasn't ready to intercept it.
Yeah, just set up like he owned the joint right between all of the bases that Creator had set up there, and it was just impossible to break. Not enough Stalkers, not any Tempest at all, obviously, at this stage of the game, and it really paid off in the end. So let's go ahead, and we're going to try to get into our next series here. It's the player some of you have been waiting for.
Yes.
It's
guys,
gonna be...
drum roll, please. Match number 2. It's going to be Tasia versus True.
Tasia versus True.
All right. So we already have the map order, but we are going to have just like a minute or two break, and then we'll get on into it. So yeah, thanks for tuning on in, guys, and we'll be back. Tasia versus True. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.